Why? Tell me what happened.
What happens is in my personal case,
Yes.
in school I have several activities.
Oh my.
And some of them, in spite of giving class to the students, I have a little church in the union that exists in the school.
Uh-huh.
That's why sometimes it's very difficult for me try to enter to the website to do the activities.
I see. Well, don't worry. I think that we are going to have time enough for you to be working, even if you don't have time for doing this. Just let me know so that we can try to help you in any way. All right.
Okay.
So it is clear for us that teachers are so busy all the time. We are so busy, and people tend to say that we are very lazy people. That's funny.
Yes.
Yeah, but all right. Anyway, so you know what today we are going to talk about?
No, teacher.
It is something so nice, so interesting. Here
Okay.
you are. We are going to talk about habits. You know
Aha.
what? This is a conversation class. And
Yes.
in this class, we are supposed not to be working about grammar. Of course, we are going to have something about feedback. But the principal point in this is to be
Yes.
talking, is to be helping you with, well, some of the grammar points, something about usage, but most of all, to help you with your fluency and to give you some tips
Okay.
about conversation. All right. So, would you mind helping me to read what you see in the screen?
Yes, on the screen there is a talking about habits,
All right.
and between quotation marks says people do not decide their futures; they decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures.
Excellent. Martin, tell me, what do you think about this?
Well, and I think it's in certain case true. Why? Because we are living every day several things, and suddenly some of them appear, and then we have to decide what can I do or what can't I do. uh In my habits, for instance, sometimes I don't take place. I like in my free time and read, listen to music sometimes, but uh, because of my work, in spite of classes, uh, in the church I have in the union of teachers, it's a little difficult to take place these ones. And then for me, it's some difficult to try to do these habits.
You know what? I think that we teachers, most of the time, don't take care of our health because, as you said before, we are so busy because we have to do so many things that we don't pay attention to our own health.
Uh,
And so sometimes we don't have very healthy habits. We
yes.
eat what we can, not what we should.
Mhm.
We sleep the most time we can, and sometimes it is just 2 or 3 hours. And
Uh-huh.
we are so stressed.
Mm.
So
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Sorry. Yes. I agree with you. In my personal case, I several times been sick due to you talk about this, the health, my health in this case.
Mm,
I
and
I
you know,
I was very sick about 2 or 3 years ago. Because you're right, what you are telling to me. We don't eat on time. Sometimes sleeps very sleep hours. Uh,
So a few
Sleep a few
a
hours
few
sleep.
hours.
Uh-huh. Because in Mexico City, well, I live in state of Mexico, and then there is a even we enter to the school at 7 o'clock in the morning. I must get up at home about 4 o'clock in
Yeah.
the morning, to prepare all my things, etc., etc. Then I leave from home about 5:30 a.m.
Yeah, that's it. Where do
Uh-huh.
you live? Where exactly do you live?
I live teacher in Cuautitlán Izcalli.
Oh my, that's
At
too
the end of
far.
the yes, at the end of the Cuautitlán Izcalli, I stayed near about San Pedro, Villa Nicolás Romero.
My goodness, it
Uh-huh.
is so far. And
Yes,
where do you work?
in Colegio de Bachilleres in Branch 5, Satélite.
Mm, it is so far from your home. How long does it take to you to go home or to
Uh,
go from home?
about 2 hours. It depends on the traffic too.
Jesus Christ. And
Uh,
2 hours going, 2 hours coming.
Incoming sometimes is a little more than 2 hours. It depends of the climate because sometimes the rain is very hard and the traffic increases terrible.
My goodness, I can't believe it. And I
Yes,
was complaining because it takes me 20 minutes to go to my other job.
yes, teacher. It's very difficult. The distance and the timing sometimes is very, as you said, stressed for me.
Yeah, too much. Well, you know what? That's what I was telling you. We don't have time for taking care of our health.
Mhm.
Mm, and I would like to ask you something.
Yes,
How often do you practice sports?
the truth, honestly, I hardly ever teacher. It's very difficult for me the time.
Yes, of course, because we have not only
Mm,
the time for having classes, but also lesson planning,
mhm.
but also some other courses that we are taking,
Yes.
some other programs that the school
Mhm.
requires. And of
Uh-huh.
course, it is really difficult. So tell
Yes.
me, yes,
Sorry. In the afternoon, I send an email by another account, not the institution account. In this mail, I try to explain. It's difficult for me sometimes during the week stay on the website to do the activities. Sometimes I could enter because besides I do some things on weekends, exactly from Tuesday, from Saturday, I attend another kind of students at school at Branch 5 Satellite. In this school, at Branch 5, there are an open system for students that can go to the school during the week. They can only go to the school on Saturday.
you know what? I was listening to a person, well,
Uh-huh.
two people who were talking, and they were talking about the virtual system of Politécnico. So,
Mhm.
is there anything in bachilleres like that, like Polivirtual?
Not teacher is an open system. It's known like Sistema de Enseñanza Abierta. And this kind of study, there is only in the first branches in Colegio de Bachilleres. In this case, at Colegio de Bachilleres, this kind of studies has a lot of time, maybe 30 or more 30 years ago.
Yeah.
At the Polytechnico, I think at the Polytechnico is a new system.
Kind of like that.
Hmm. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, it is extremely difficult because I don't know who makes all of these programs, who organize all of the lives of many people, because sometimes it is not non-human.
Hmm.
I consider that we teachers have really long schedules, long time,
Hmm.
work time. And so
Yes.
some people used to say, teachers are very lazy. They don't like to work. They don't do anything. That's
Uh,
not fair.
nah, yes, you're right. Very right, teacher. It's true. When I started the semester, I try to talk to students so they understand what we do on the. It supposes we are on vacation, but not
Yep.
only of us are on vacation.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm. And during the after finish the semester, we should go to the some courses. In my
Yeah.
case, I like to go to these ones because I like to learn more than I knew up to now.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that we do it not only because we want to keep our jobs, but
Hmm.
also because we really love to be teaching, to be helping our students to learn more. We want to do better, better than
Yes.
we are.
Hmm.
So we have to learn a lot for helping our students as they deserve. And so it is so inspiring, but many people don't
Hmm.
understand that and they don't believe that we
Hmm.
really do, that we really work.
Hmm. Yes, that kind of the explanation I give you the students so try to understand. It's true. Some of us go on vacation. They don't interest in the preparation or study more than the only during the semester. In
Yeah.
my personal case, no teacher. Because I liked to be with the teenagers, and I try to understand, I try to help you, I try to support you, to support them all the time, even in the SEA.
That's it. You
Mhm,
know what? I think that it is not only difficult, but also rewarding. So
mhm,
we can have a very nice reward whenever they uh, learn, whenever we see that they
mhm,
can use all of the knowledges that we were working with them the whole year. So it's so nice. I really love when my students try to speak English and they think that I am not listening to them. For me,
uh-huh.
it's delicious.
Yes, I remember now you are telling to me this. I remember once in 1993, 94, I think. I was in a course at Polytechnicum, and the teacher told us write a composition, and I wrote each one. And the final of this composition, he wrote a thought for me, and I remember this message said more or less, we have or we will have about 50 students. And I wish all of them understand, work, and try to do all we want to do in classroom. But unfortunately, only one of these 50 students is going to understand us, is going to do what we wish all the others do. And this is our reward as a teacher. This is a great reward that only one student is going to do, understand, and support us.
That's it. You're right.
Mhm.
Oh, you know what? This business of education is not only beautiful, it is not only rewarding, but also I think that we teachers are extremely passionate about what we do.
Mhm.
Somebody told me one day, most of the teachers who are in the service, in the active service, are there because of a casualty. They didn't want to be teachers. It may be, all right. I don't deny that. It may be. But something that I strongly believe is that whenever we teachers are there, we really like students to learn and we really love what we are doing.
Mhm. Yes, teacher. That's true. Yes, that's true. Unfortunately, as I learned in a course, one instructor told us that in this field of education, there are two kind of teachers. Unfortunately, we have a vocation, and the other ones as a profession.
Yes, that's it. There are the
Mhm.
people, the
The
teachers,
profession.
yeah, there are the teachers who want to work and
Mhm.
they like to work. And there are some other teachers who really love students. We love what we do
Mhm.
and we love teaching overall.
Yes, yes, teacher. That's true. In my personal case, uh, uh, I consider I have a vocation because I love to work with the teenagers. In fact, I have spent about 15 or 14 years working with teenagers.
Excellent. That's beautiful. I do too. I have been working for 25 years and I guess
Oh,
that they have been the best of my life. First of
aha,
all, well, first of this, I used to be a secretary. I
aha,
used to work in a in an office,
yes,
and it was nice. It was good. Business is good, but it was not so rewarding as being a teacher. Later on, some one day, a student told me because I was giving some particular classes,
mhm,
individual, because there I had some neighbors who needed help and they
aha,
said, please, could you help me? I don't understand anything and blah blah blah. All right. And so I decided to work with them by the on the weekends. But one day one of them invited me to work to his school and I was very tired. I was really exhausted of traveling to Mexico City. So I stopped doing that. I quit my job and I started working in a school. But for me, it was so surprising because whenever I realized
aha,
what the work of a teacher was, I really fell in love with the activity, and I couldn't go back to the office ever. And I didn't do it. I
aha.
quit, and I had never thought even to go back to the office.
Okay, you decide to be a teacher.
Yeah. And so tell me, talk to me about yourself. Talk to me about your story, who you are, what you do, where you're from, anything.
Well, I am I was born in Guanajuato State in a town named Empalme Escobedo.
Wow.
It's about 30 minutes far from Celaya City.
Good.
And my parents, who are dead now, I don't have any more with me. They passed away several years, both of them.
Um,
And then they brought us to Mexico City in more or less 1970. I try to remember the exact date, more or less 1970. And since then, I was living in Mexico City. First of all, near downtown by Tlatelolco section.
That's it.
Then I decide to live independent from them, and so I left home about in 1995. I since exactly in 1996 I have living in the state of Mexico.
You have been living here. Oh, but why did you go so far?
Uh, why? Well, because in April 1995, with my mom, we had a terrible discussion with I have with her. I argue very. It was very horrible this situation, and then as a result of this problem, see very serious problem, I decided went home, and an aunt. I talked to her, and then she decided to give me some time, some months, a few months. Uh, he he offered me her house to live with her temporarily. After that was on April 1995. By 1997, 1996, she took to me to Naucalpan in the state of Mexico because an aunt who is dead now, um, we went to talk to her, and she told us in a very briefly way what was the problem with my mom. And the other aunt, she was named Vicenta. He got me a room when I was uh, staying during some years in this section. This section in Naucalpan is named the Huertas Luisa, very near from the road to Toluca. And then since that date, 1995, I had been out of home, and as a result that situation with my mom, I never go back, went back to home anymore. I was it was very difficult for me because I didn't know some people. I was practically alone on that part of the state of Mexico.
I see.
Then I met a person, a woman. We uh, went along some time when we decided to move another part of the state of Mexico in Tultitlan. In Tultitlan, and then after some years, there was another serious trouble with her, and we decided to continue in different ways in this life. So after some months, I finally got my own home here in Cuautitlán Izcalli.
Wow, that's it. So that's why you live so far. But even
Yes.
to have your own home is wonderful. So sometimes we think that whenever we, well, you know what? I think that, well, I don't have a house and I live very near to the place where I work. So sometimes I'm changing, I'm moving.
Uh-huh.
And so I have lived in many places, but I have always tried to live very near um from my job.
Uh-huh.
But I don't have a house. That's the point. And sometimes for me it's nice to be moving, but some other times it is not so easy because I have to through many of the things I have to move everything and to change the places, and it's so uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
And even sometimes I like the place where I am living, and suddenly the landlord tells me, you know what, my son is gonna get married soon, so I
Uh-huh.
need the department.
Okay.
Oh my, all right. Or some other times, you know what? I am going to sell the house. Oh my. And so now I am living with my daughter and her family.
Uh-huh.
But we really deal pretty well. But I don't know, maybe one day they are going to say, you know what? That's all. Go, please go. And so I will have to look for another house. But in your case, now you have your own house, and that's a very big advantage. And it's very beautiful.
Yes, that's right. Teacher is a very great advantage because the rent is terrible. Pay rent, it's
Yeah,
it's very difficult. More in this the actual time, actually in this time,
yeah,
this year. Oh, it's very very difficult to people who unfortunately is renting a home or an apartment.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Mm.
it's so difficult. And well, sometimes um, we think that, okay, your salary is not very bad, so we can do it. We can go to another place to live. But wow, rents are extremely high.
See,
I re-
yes. Yes, yes, I agree absolutely with you because I sometimes I was in this case that I must pay a rent.
yeah, that's it, and it's so high. All right, but well, talking about yourself, tell me. Let's talk about your habits.
Uh,
Yeah,
in about my habits, I like to listen music. I like to read. I like to stay at home, especially on weekends. If it's not necessary go out, I stay. If we must go out to a meeting or something else or something like that, I have to. Meanwhile, I stay at home. I try to watch TV and try to rest. Um, another thing is I like to uh, not prepared cook because I don't know, but I try to stay in a peaceful place because during the week is very there are many activities that the people, the principal, the boss, and then I prefer stay at home when I can't. Uh, Watch TV, listen to romantic music, instrumental music, read some books, novels, and attending some people, in special some students that look for a support. If I if I can, I give the support for them. I like that.
hey, that's great. That's
Yeah.
too good. Well, you mentioned also that you don't know how to cook, but
Yeah.
what do you prefer eating?
Uh, I in a special thing, in special food, in special dishes, I like. mole, uh,
Wow.
rice, red rice. It doesn't matter rice or red or white rice. And another food, um, meat. Um, Only this kind of food I prefer mole rojo and chicken with chicken obviously,
Yeah.
uh, and so another dish is a I don't know how to say tinga,
Oh, good.
and weekends sometimes I prefer eat some tacos.
Oh, good. You know what? Long time ago, I went to Indiana. I was in the University of Southern Indiana, and uh, for me, it was so surprising to see that food is, well, it is good, but not as good as I would like to taste.
Okay.
And, well, I don't know. To be honest, I didn't like American food. It is good, but it's so non-natural. It is so processed food. And, well, also they have delicious dishes. I was really missing Mexican food. I couldn't even get used to be eating those kind of foods, and I went to Walmart. In Walmart, I found the Mexican food section.
Mhm.
It was not Mexican food, but even they had sauce, green sauce, la costeña, and they
Ajá.
had some totopos. They call them tortilla triangles by La Mission. I found out some cheese, mozzarella cheese, and so I built my own chilaquiles.
Ajá.
I was crying and eating chilaquiles by morning.
Delicious the chilaquiles too.
Oh yeah, and I was crying and singing la canción mixteca.
Yes, I can
And,
imagine.
yeah, and so as a result, they told me, Maggie, don't go back to Mexico. Stay here. We are going to give you a job. And I
Ajá.
said, and we said, they told me, we need you. And so I said, all right, if they need me, of course, in my country, I can do many things and I can help people. So that's my place. That's where I want to be. And so I said, all right, thank you very much. It is an honor for me to be taken into consideration in your beautiful school. But my heart is so far, far, far away. And so they said, okay, Maggie, what are you missing? What can we do for you to stay? And I said, no, you are not going to get what I need. And they said, it's your family, right? And I said, no, it's tacos.
Yes, they are delicious. Tacos, quesadillas, gorditas, Mexican food, typical Mexican food.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
called, and some people told me, do you think never, 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 I had gone abroad Mexico. I studied English here in Mexico, only in
Yeah.
Mexico. Uh-huh. Yes, only in Mexico. I don't know another country, another city. No teacher. I have studied all my knowledge in English language. I I had studied here in Mexico.
Yeah, and you know what? Well, as I told you before, I was there. I was there in 15, no, 2015, yes. But when I was there, uh, I was talking to some American people, and they told me that we Mexicans are managing pretty good level of English. And they told me, what's your system? because you
Mhm.
really do, you really speak very well. Do you travel to any other countries to get the accent or something like that? And I said, no, that's the only thing we do to learn, to study, and to try to imitate your sounds. And they
Mhm.
said, well, you really do well, pretty good. So,
Yeah, I consider the practice, the teacher that we practice, the most, the best, I think the best could be practice every day. But unfortunately, in this case, in the school when I work at bachelor's, there are several subjects. And another negative point I could say is we don't have the necessary equipment. We don't have laptop. We don't have. I have. It's true. I have in my classroom. I have projector. I have the speaker, but unfortunately, the equipment is not complete. There are missing cables, and the laptop. In this case, if I practice with my students, I have to take my own laptop, and that is a serious thing I must think over because unfortunately the robbery on the bus is very present, and I was a victim on these situations about 3 or 4 times.
yeah, yeah, you're right. It is a pity that we don't have all of the resources that we need for teaching. And so sometimes, yes, as you said, we have to be using our own equipment and to invest sometimes lots of money
Mhm,
for having a nice class. But why do we do that? Because we
mhm,
love students and we like them to be happy with our classes.
mhm.
We really want them to be loving school, that they are long to be at school. That's
Yes,
the point.
yes, and it is funny. It sounds a little funny, teacher Maggie, because sometimes when I was in some courses, the people, another instructor from another institution, not only at bachilleres, for instance, Metropolitana, Duteca, etc. They are surprised when not only I, some of us tell this person, this structure, we don't have the resources, the necessary resources. We don't
Mhm.
even they are laugh at with us when we say to them. Even we have plan A, plan B, and plan C. Some cases.
Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yes.
We have to do it because there's no choice.
Mhm. Yes, teacher. Unfortunately and sad, but it's the reality at Colegio de Bachilleres.
Yeah, but you know what? As you said before, that's the reality not only at Goldbach, but
Mhm,
also in UNAM, in UAM, in UNADEM, in Mexiquense del Bicentenario, everywhere. So
mhm,
it is the system. It is not the school. It's the system that they don't invest as they should in education.
mhm.
Government doesn't want to spend money at all.
Yes, yes, it's a very serious situation. Even in the SEA, well, I can tell you it's very a lot of sad experiences about this kind of business with the equipment, the material resources, because we are needed to do many things, but we can count with them.
Yeah, that's it. So that's why most of the times we teachers have to invest money buying our own equipment. I have seen lots of teachers who have their own projector, their own speakers, and we are carrying many things as if we were going to go abroad.
Mhm,
So we have enormous backpacks, enormous luggage even,
Mhm.
so that we can have the material enough for having a nice class, as I told you before. No, like John Amos Comenio said, that the school should be a place where the students are happy, even happier than at home sometimes. But that's
Yes,
our job.
teacher. It's sad, but it's the reality.
Yeah, it's true. It's a real life.
Yes, teacher.
All right. Well, talking about other times, Martin, please tell me, what's your favorite food?
Uh, in fact, I don't have a like that favorite food. I like food in general, but if I can choose, I could like I prefer, mm, for instance, mole, chilaquiles, um, tinga, seafood, obviously too.
Oh, good.
Uh-huh. And fish, it's very rarely, but sometimes not. It's not common. It's during the month I eat fish about maybe twice only. The fish. Uh,
Okay.
uh-huh. Uh, Another dish, Mexican dish that I love is pozole.
Oh, that's delicious. That's really nice.
Yes. As you see, I don't have any special dishes. I like food, typical Mexican eh, or not. I like food in general.
That's it. That's pretty good. All right. And so, what about hobbies? What's your favorite hobby? What do you like doing?
My favorite one of my hobbies are listen to music, read when I have time, a little time,
Short time.
and then we at school in this they finish the classes over about 1 o'clock, and after that some teachers get together and try to relax talking about our experiences. I like um, to hear them, to share some comments, some advice from another teachers at Colbach.
Hey, that's it. Well, in talking about some other things, do you like to eat fruit?
Yes, teacher, I like to apples, banana, uh, watermelon, orange, more or less this kind of fruit.
Excellent. Pretty good. Fruit is delicious and it apports lots of vitamins to our bodies. So it's so healthy.
Yes, teacher.
All right. Look at this. Here we have some hobbies, I guess, some activities that we can do. What would you like doing? What would you like to be practicing?
I could like swimming because I don't know how to swim. I would like to gardening. It sounds interesting. I don't know what is a ikebana.
Oh, Ikebana. Ikebana is the art of arranging flowers. I'm going to show you an image of Ikebana. Here you are.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Yes.
It's the art of arranging flowers.
Okay.
But we had another, for example, quilting. Here you
Yes.
are. This is quilting. With
Aha.
marker. All right. Here you are. This is quilting.
It's an art. It's a handcraft.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. It's a fabric. Or what material is this?
Yeah, that's it. It's fabric.
Okay.
They are. little pieces of fabric and they are turned into a mat.
Yeah, okay, teacher. And the image in the middle of the ikebana and quilting.
Ah, it's making paper cars.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like papel mache. That's it.
I don't remember. But I have here around this kind of paper.
Hey, that's great. Okay, so just wait me just a moment. All
It's
right,
okay.
let's go to the next. Ta-da! What do you think about this? To be
About
practicing genealogy.
uh, uh, what do you think about the some of these things?
Yeah, well, some people used to practice genealogy as a hobby. They are
Yes,
looking for the origin of their families.
yes, teacher. Uh, for instance, family tree, parentage.
Well, yes. You know what? Time ago, I started looking for the origin of my family, and I was checking the genealogy. I was talking about, I was looking for information about my progenitors and their inheritance. I was looking also for uh, for uh, looking for what was the inheritance of my last name, and I
Uh,
found that my last name comes from Lebanon.
yeah, okay. In my case, my last name is Hernandez, and sometimes I found that this last name is come from the name of the conqueror Hernan Cortés.
Wow! Hey,
Uh-huh.
look at this.
Yes.
Hey, that's nice.
Yeah, well, that's I found several some years ago about my last name Hernandez.
Yeah. Hey, that's nice. So it is interesting. It is another hobby, as I told you before. It is genealogy.
Yes.
Hey, that's nice. Well, Martin, I want to ask you, would you like to say anything or do you have any question?
Uh, yes, teacher. I have several questions
Tell
about
me.
this topic and about the website, about the course, teacher, because this is new for me. I never been in a course online before, so it's a very difficult for me sometimes try to go to the website and do the activities. My one of my doubts is if necessary when, for instance, I go to the website to do some activities. For instance, in this case, Unit 31. My question is, or my doubt, my big doubt is, uh, I must finish all the lessons, all the exercises about this unit in the same day.
Mm, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you mean. Do you mean about the sequence?
For instance, I saw in the afternoon. I saw in the unit 31 there are about 16 or 17 activities.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then my doubt is, for instance, I did first two activities and I didn't finish because of some uh, another activity that I have to do at school. And then I go out from the web on exercise, for instance, number two, unit 31 in the number two, for instance, in passages
Yeah.
or changes, for instance, no? And I didn't finish this. part, I can enter later, or I must finish this day all the unit 31.
Oh, no, no, no. You can enter as many times as you want, and even you can do many exercises several times. But here the problem that I see with the platform is that it is so extensive. So many teachers don't have time for finishing all the activities. And you know what? It is something so interesting and so important to mention because the whole evaluation of the course is on the platform.
Yes.
So if you don't finish your exercises, you are going to have low scores. And well, whenever I say finish your exercises, I mean also that, okay, maybe you start Monday, later on you didn't have time Tuesday, but you continued working on Wednesday, and
Uh-huh.
so on. Here, the most important part is that you finish the 2 units each week.
Okay. Oh, yes. I want to know that because I was confused, a little confused. I don't understand very good this point. So I try to do some activities, but suddenly, no, I'm not the only one that have another activity. So I must stop doing and do another things. Then I could return later about,
Yep.
I don't know, maybe 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock. No,
Oh, yep.
that's a doubt. Another doubt, teacher Maggie, is for instance, I was doing the section of the first exercise about describing the hobbies and the person where live and what to do about the characters Natalie, Kevin, and David.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't finish because I entered with to keep in touch by means in this the website to enter this class with you.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, look at this. In all of the units, there are lots of exercises, many exercises. So here, the most important is not that you finish all the unit in one session. Of course, it is impossible and
Aha,
so time consuming. But if you are going to stop working with an exercise, try to finish it, because if you don't finish, you just answer 3 of the 5 questions and
aha,
you quit. Well, not to quit, but you close the session, you turn off the computer, then
aha.
you're going to be lost and you are going to start the exercise again. Not the unit, but
Oh,
the exercise. So you can be
okay.
working with your exercises whenever you may like, but try to finish the exercise you were working with. Maybe the 5 or 10 questions that they have.
Aha.
From continue with the other ones.
Okay, teacher. And one more thing, please. I would like to know if we could be in touch, keep in touch in another in anher account of my email. It know about the institution in another account. For instance, in my email about the institution is colbachet dot
Yeah.
etc. But I sent you another an email from Yahoo,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know if it's possible. Of course, if it's possible to keep in touch by means count.
Oh yeah, it's okay. So you just tell me what are the accounts you are going to use, and of course I am going to add them to my database.
Okay, yes, I sent you. There are my name, my first letter for my name, full name, Maer Perlo.
Uh-huh.
Aha, 65 that at Yahoo that. com.mx.
All right. Well, I will do the change. Don't worry.
Okay, yes, teacher.
All right. Well, Martin, I thank you so much for your attendance. And so I wish you have a very good night.
Thank you. The same for you, teacher. I'm glad to talk you, to interact by means this computer, the chat.
Yeah, that's it. Well, yes, for me, it has been also a pleasure to be talking to you. Well, thank you very much and have a very good night.
Not at all, teacher. The same for you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.